Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely and talented wife, Miss Southern Shell. And I got the BBQ Ninja himself in the house. He's come back home to Hernando to hang out with us for a podcast.
Second time.
Man,
Yeah, for the second time. What's up, Craig?
Just coming here and sitting across the table from Shell is always a treat. And, of course, get to hang out with y'all in my hometown. I mean, you know, I'm so looking forward to Saturday.
Oh, man. Craig's going to be at the grand opening, right? You're going to be here.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do all kinds of cool stuff. I know we talked about it a little bit last week. We're going to talk about it more today, right, Shell?
Yep.
What else we got on the agenda?
To get done?
No, I was talking about for the podcast, but I don't want to know what we got to get done. It's going to be a long 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's less than 48 hours now.
But we do have the grand opening this weekend. So if anybody's listening, want to stop by, 9 to 5, Malcom Shop.
496 Whitfield Drive, about 500 yards past the Connection Gym in Hernando.
We got the Ninja.
Home of Craig Verhage.
I got some deep
And Malcom Reed now.
There you go.
Yeah, the Bridgetown Mafia is in the house.
That's it. You know, I tell folks all the time, my parents built the fourth house in Bridgetown.
Charles told me that Bridgetown was where the rich folks lived. He's like, all the regular folks lived in Hernando. Bridgetown back in the day, that's where all the rich folks lived.
Man, we had 7 folks piled up in my house. There was no rich going on around there. 5 boys. Yeah, no, we just had to live in the country.
There you go.
Dad didn't want us in the city around all these.
You couldn't be too close to town. That's what it was.
We tore up enough stuff out
They
there.
didn't want to run y'all out.
Give us a bat and whoop on a tree.
Yeah, I got the anvil when I was a kid. I had a great uncle who lived up in West Tennessee. We went up there, and for fun, he'd make me and Waylon go outside and beat on the anvil. He had an anvil on a tree stump. He said, "Y'all want to do something? Go out there and whoop on that anvil." And we go out there. It was no fun beating on an anvil. You get 2 or 3 licks in, like, screw this. I mean, you hit it, and then the sledgehammer come back and just rattle you. Just shake your teeth. I mean, whooping on an anvil is not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
I learned quick just to settle down a little bit. You know, don't make my great uncle mad. He had to watch his feet. He had bad feet. I guess me and White was always stomping on toes.
Don't get me started. No, please don't get me started. You get me tickled.
I'll call Saul on you.
Oh no, please no Saul.
So, Shell, what all is on the podcast agenda today?
Well, we're going to talk to Craig. I'm going to get the details on this Mossy Oak experience.
That was quite an experience. Yes, it was.
We got another one coming up.
Yeah.
We're scheduled. We're fixing to schedule a turkey one. Are we going to get to go turkey hunting, or do you know?
I don't know. I've never personally been turkey hunting. You know that's
I've only been a few times.
That's during crappie season. So I'm usually, I got my camps down there at Lake Washington. So I'm usually crappie fishing during turkey season. You kind of got to choose.
Yeah. Well, maybe they got some crappies in that lake out there. We'll see.
I bet they do.
We'll bring some fishing poles.
I'm in.
And after we get through talking about the Mossy Oak stuff, we're going to talk about our recipe we did this week. The
Picanha. Have you ever cooked picanha?
I have not. And after seeing that, because I did preview that video,
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
That's
for sure.
That's an underrated cut that I guess a lot of people you don't see it in supermarkets.
Is it not expensive? Is it cheaper?
I mean, the wagyu ones, it's fairly expensive.
Well, yeah.
But if you can find a good choice one or a prime one, I mean, they're not terribly expensive if you can find them. That's the thing. You don't see them.
Right.
You don't see them in grocery stores, but when I first had it was probably at Texas de Brazil.
Me too.
Brazilian steakhouse. They serve them, they'll take it, leave that fat cap on it, cut it with the grain and double it over on the big spear or whatever it's called, skewer, roast it over the fire and bring it out. Just salt on it, nothing else.
Right.
Then they'll slice it for you, good medium rare piece. Man, it melts in your mouth.
Getting me hungry.
But I've done it. So I've done it a couple different ways. The first time I did it the Brazilian way, it was phenomenal.
You hung it.
Yeah.
You hung it
in a drum.
It was a pit barrel, Junior.
It was the pit barrel, yeah. I just let it hang in the fire and drip. Man, you talk about is that as that fat cap started rendering and the juice started running down and hitting those coals. That's why I wanted to cook this last one on the drum. Then I cooked another one where I just kind of cut it in steaks. And those, I mean, so it's also the picanha. Picanha is the name of the cut. It's also called the culotte, culotte steaks. It's also called technically the sirloin, the top sirloin cap steak. That's where it comes from. So if you cut a whole sirloin out and you slice it up into steaks, all the picanha or the culotte side of it's going to run a different grain than the rest of the sirloin. So it doesn't really make a good steak like that. So when they muscle it out, you take that whole culotte or whole top cap off, it's that 3 to 4 pound roast. And man, it's just by itself, it's phenomenal.
It looks a lot like a trap cap.
It's lean. The only fat it has on it is that fat cap, and you don't cut that off. Right. You want that to stay on.
Exactly.
And man, it's good. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of my favorite cuts.
I cooked it whole, just with some salt and pepper, my TX seasoning.
You called it your prime rib treatment.
Yeah, and that's how I cook a prime rib. You put it on a drum, put some seasoning on it, cook it till it's about 122, 125 internal. Take it off, rest it, and slice it off.
Well, you know, one of my cooking sayings is when you put good stuff on good stuff, you get good stuff. Making a little cleanup.
Yeah, PG.
Where did you get that particular?
You know, I thought I had, I just never cooked one like that, so I wanted to do it. And that one came from Kevin at the butcher shop. He's got, he was Australian Wagyu, and he's got some of the best meat going in the country, and they'll ship it right to you. So,
have you ever used his, Craig?
You ever met Kevin?
I haven't.
Man, you got to take a trip down to Pensacola, dude. They have a big, pre-COVID, they always had a big contest down there in the spring. Was it Pensacola Cooking on Main or something like that?
Yeah, we've gone once or twice.
No, we never got to go. We were going to go because we were there last COVID this time. He's like, y'all are going to come back and cook this contest next year. I said, yeah,
the big wooden trophies.
Yes.
Yes.
I know you've seen those trophies, a totem poles. They do the big pelican. They do the different things out of them.
I've heard his name again through you and other folks that cook his meat.
Yeah. You got to go down there and check out Pensacola, check out the butcher shop. That's a good trip for us to do.
Yeah. You want to know?
Go down there, go fishing.
Yeah, and go over to, I don't think he has Royal Oak. He needs some Royal Oak to sell in the shop.
We'll have to work
make him a distributor. If you're getting the meat from him, you might as well pick up a bag of good charcoal, right?
One-stop shop.
That's what I say. It goes hand in hand.
I do have a question. So how do you say, it's Wagyu? How do you say it, Craig?
I say, I'm good. The Cleveland Delta boy. I say Wagyu.
Wagyu.
Yeah. I say it. I think it's Wagyu. Wagyu, I guess. I say Wagyu a lot.
Yeah.
I put the Y before the G, sometimes the I, depending on, I don't remember exactly what that vocabulary rule was. I never was good at English.
But you're good at cooking. So.
I'm good at cooking. So.
There you go.
That counts for something, right?
Counts for a lot.
Don't judge me by my spellings or my sayings. Just come whenever we ring that dinner bell.
When you say it, it sounds right to me, but everybody else wants to point out that it is incorrect.
That is not the way you say that, Mississippi man. I'm like, okay.
Do they not know we have our own vocabulary?
Yeah.
Tomato, right? There's more than one ways to say it. You know what I'm talking about when I say it. It's not getting confused. Like, oh, well, actually. you know one of those guys, don't you? Well, actually.
I bet however you pronounce it, everybody will eat it.
Yeah.
That's what I said, too. That's what I said.
As long as you don't cook it.
That pecan, try that. Make a chimichurri, a fresh chimichurri to go with it. Mm. Even the prime rib, what's the creamy horseradish mayo that you like to make? Mm-hmm. That would be good with it. I sliced it thin, and it was great on a sandwich. We ate it with salad.
Yeah.
Cut it up in bites and mix it up with a salad.
Why'd you cook on a drum?
So I could get that fat. I knew from the very first recipe I did on the pit barrel, I knew that fat was going to drip down. And if I'd leave the lid a little off, it'll get it flaming up at the end. And in that video, I showed the bottom of it, it's where you could see the fat. I scored it so all the seasoning could get in there, but then it had it all crunchy and crackling and sizzling when I picked it up. That's why I cooked it on drum. You ain't going to do that on pellet grill. You ain't going to do it on a stick burner. You're going to have you could do it on a Weber, like reverse sear it or a PK360 or something, cook it off to the side, then put it over there. But the whole time I want that fat dripping on those coals, and man, that's what makes it.
That gives that flavor, man.
Yeah, that's flavor, man. That's flavor.
I tell you, I have been cooking on a drum for only about a year now, and it's a whole nother flavor profile with that charcoal and the wood together. I can see why.
You cannot, and I'll tell anybody that you can't duplicate that meat juice dripping on those coals like you can on a drum. It's authentic barbecue as it gets.
Totally agree.
And the only thing you're limited is what you can get on that 22-inch rack. If they made a drum as big as this table right here, oh man.
Yeah.
How'd you control that thing?
Well, so it's like the old school brick pits that they cook hogs on. That's why those hogs taste so good. You shovel your coals under it. The cooking rack's about up to the top of this table, and the coals are down on the floor. That's where, you got the distance, so it is low and slow cooking, and you're getting the benefit of all that meat juice, that fat rendering, all those juices hitting those coals and coming back up. And you just can't duplicate that with any other kind of pit.
You can't. And like you said, the only drawback is the quantity that you can get on there.
On the drum. I love the drums, man.
Quality. Once I got it, man, it's kind of been my go-to here lately.
And another thing I like about them, the huge selling point, is when you put lump charcoal, you can do you a little cook on it, a shorter cook. You close the vents off. You fire that dude right back up. Now, I cook with briquettes in mine. I did in the video. I use Royal Oak briquettes. But, when I go back, I'm probably not going to be able to restart those briquettes. Briquettes, just after they've been in the air, sitting out, they get, they attract moisture, so they want to fall more apart. They're harder to fire back up and to get going. But lump, once you kill the oxygen on it, it goes out, and it's still good coal.
Stick a couple tumbleweeds back in there.
There you go. That's what I do. I'll take my basket and kind of shake it. Mm-hmm. Get all the dust to settle down to the bottom of it, and then I'm just make me a little divot in it, put me a couple tumbleweeds. I'm right back to cooking. I can get 16 hours easy out of a full basket of lump.
Yeah,
running it low. That's not hot and fast, but holding it a good 250, 275, where it likes to barely be cracked to run. Man, that's some
once you learn how
barbecue right there.
Once you learn how to stabilize a drum and let it cook.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. Yeah. You can walk. You can think you're going in there to baste or move something around, close the lid, and walk away, and you've done moved off the lid, the vents, and dudes will get open on you. It'll react. It'll react. You to leave the lid off too long. Think you're gonna wrap ribs? You're gonna just set the lid to the side for a few minutes, take a phone call, drink a beer. Oh no, you got flames shooting to the top.
Oh, we were. I'll tell you a little story. We were at the KCBS World Championship back in November, and our good friend Mike Johnson going to cook on our good friend Richard Fergola's new drum. I think Richard only cooked on it one time, and Mike, built the fire in there. And true to Mike Johnson, after he built the fire in there, he went gallivanting around and talking to everybody and shaking hands, kissing babies, hugging women, and doing what he does. And that thing caught on fire.
Yeah, it will.
I walked out of Fergie's cooking trailer, and there was like flames coming out. Yeah. Of course, he burnt Fergie's new
drum up. Oh, I'm sure it had all the rivets glowing.
Exactly. So,
seams popping.
Yeah, just leave it to Mike. He can do things like that. So.
Here you go.
Was Fergie mad?
No drunk. Kicking it when he got there.
I can't believe he burnt that drum up there. And then true to Mike, he was like, "Craig did it."
Yeah. What? You was the lid man, huh? You got caught there.
Oh gosh!
Now you brought that drum to.
I was ask that. Is that your custom Royal Oak drum?
It is, yeah. Short rib drum smokers out of Decatur, Texas, made that. Thing.
Cool!
And really cool too. They've got the laser sketch, and I just showed you the Royal Oak sign for me. They did my BBQ Ninja logo on there. They can do that thing is amazing. The detail that it can get in any grate, and. But yeah, they did they
did a Ninja cooking grate on it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did see that.
Right. I sat there and watched that thing make that.
They laser cut it out or whatever.
Yeah. I couldn't believe. I got a video of it doing that.
That's cool.
Some good technology. And
so I cooked on that drum at Mossy Oak. That's what I did those wild boar ribs on, and it cooked. As good as any drum I've ever cooked on. Yeah. I hadn't. I don't think I've cooked on a bad drum.
We used to cook on a literal trash can. Like that's what they used to be 10 years ago.
It was not a trash.
They did not have custom, nice, high tech drums back there.
Powder coated, beat up, rusty.
No, it was a refurbished food grade unlined drum. $13. We cut some holes in it so air would get in. There wasn't no smokestacks. To check the holes back, I got pieces of magnet, like the sign magnet they use to put signs on cars and stuff. I said, y'all sell that blank? And they said, we'll give you some drops, Yeah. So I cut me some little squares out, and if you wanted it halfway, you took that magnet and slid it halfway. If you wanted it quarter way, you slid it out. And it would last several cooks, before it melted or wouldn't stick anymore.
I thought you were going to say you balled up.
Oh, no, I have done that before too. This is leaking a little. We can fix that. Let's plug it up with aluminum foil. That'd work the same way. The most expensive thing out of those drums that I put on it was the firebox. I actually went to a fabricator. Waylon drew me up this design for a firebox, and I think it cost me like $150. I was like, God, I've got $23 in my drum. Now the firebox, it's probably still kicking somewhere. I don't even know where it is now. I think it's at Tater's. He's got that drum. I made like 6 of them, and I was just, somebody wants to borrow a cooker. I got a drum you can borrow.
It's a big business now.
Yeah.
It's you walk around.
Oh, the gateways that I use now, man, them dudes, they're Cadillac drum cookers, man. They're slick. You don't see any weld lines or anything, and they're all solid piece rolled.
I went to that IBCA event this past weekend and walked around. I mean, there are folks rolling out drums all over the place. That's 3 proteins, so they don't have to put on 3. Now, KCBS, you roll out 4 drums.
You're serious.
Protein, you got 40.
We did that.
It can be involved. As well,
But I like that because everything you can cook at different temperatures on those drums. So if you want to do your chicken at 325, you want to do your ribs at 275, you want to fire it up to 450 to start the brisket and check it back. I mean, you can do it all and work. They're pretty simple to operate, really.
It really is, but you get that flavor.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those drum cookers. Guys are winning, I think.
So on the Mossy Oak stuff, what did you cook on the drum? Did you just do one recipe on it?
Well, I when I did the braised rabbit, I grilled it, but I put it in the pot. I put it on the drum smoker to
braise it.
Yeah, to braise it. I did that, and I also did the hunting camp breakfast casserole on there.
Ooh.
I did. God, I'm trying to remember.
I was hurting a little bit that morning. I don't think I tried that. I was in recovery mode.
Yeah, I think that one got back.
Then I went hunting, so I missed all your stuff.
Right. I'm trying to think what else I did on there. I know I did the pork belly. The wild boar.
Oh,
tacos.
bacon. Oh, the tacos.
Then,
okay.
Yeah, I did on the grill. Did the hot and fast, and then fried it. Then the candied wild boar belly. I did on the grill too.
There was some of that left for dinner that night. I got some of that when I came back. That was delicious.
Yeah,
I've got some of that in the freezer at home that we need to do.
It's actual a whole bacon.
Yeah, it's a whole slab of wild boar pork belly that they've cured, turned into bacon.
Yeah.
And you just cut it. No, it's not sliced. You cut it to whatever size you want.
A belly. We actually at that same Texas event, I took one over there this past weekend, and we did pork belly wild boar burn ends.
Ooh,
with it.
So those are good too.
Yeah, they were really good.
So they soften up good. That's
they were little chewy. Yeah. It's just
texture of wild.
It's just the texture of the wild boar.
That's what I noticed with the ribs. The ribs I cooked were small racks anyway, because I guess they come off small, or wild boars just don't get as big. They're the ones they harvest. Mm-hmm. And then the meat had a different texture. I mean, it was, it's not quite as soft. It doesn't have all the fat to it.
Yeah,
right.
It's a wild animal, so it's running.
Right.
Yeah. And that meat they get is straight wild hog from Texas. It's like they've got some kind of deal going with the Texas processor where they can actually process in a USDA facility wild boar meat.
So they're capturing it?
I don't know how I don't know how they're getting them.
Yeah.
Right.
I imagine they're trapping them and then.
Imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then harvest them
some kind of way.
I mean, out of the recipes you did, what was your favorite?
Man, that's a tough one because I'm torn between two. One of them was a throw together recipe because I was only supposed to do 4.
Right.
And so they said, "Could you do one more?" And I guess they liked what I was doing. They said, "Can you do one more?" I said, "What do we got left to cook?" And because they asked us the ingredients, and so we kind of gave them a list, and that's all we had there. Mm-hmm. And I think I had. So they said, "Well, we've got some cheese, we've got some boar." Or no, it was the ground elk. And I said, "I can do a cheese dip." And they say, "What? A cheese dip?" I was like, everybody knows how to make cheese or queso, whatever you want to call it. And so I threw that one together, and I was like, watch, this one's going to be the one. I didn't write a recipe out for it. I just made it on the fly, just with the stuff that we had there, and it was really good. But the Bison Rib Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Did you come in towards the tail end of that? That's not, you killed a big buck.
Right, yeah.
I saved those for last on purpose. I knew they were going to be good because the rib eyes, most people wouldn't have known it wasn't beef. Yeah. I mean, it was a thick cut, beautiful rib eye.
Marbled?
Like center rib eye cut, marbled through and through. It looked like it was prime grade buffalo or bison.
Yeah, it really was.
I was told there's a difference in bison and buffalo. Did you know that? I've always thought they're the same thing.
Nah, they're the same but different.
Well, what's a Tatonka?
A what?
A Tatonka. Is that the same thing?
Wagyu?
That's Wagyu.
I think it's the same but different too.
That's what you call heritage buffalo. that's what they called him on Dances with Wolves, the Tatonka. When he was, that might be before your time, Shell.
May have been before your time. But I tell you,
those were good though.
One thing that I cooked that I was really surprised of was the rabbit dish.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you about it.
Yeah, I mean, that rabbit. It was.
Was it a whole rabbit?
It was a whole rabbit. Yeah.
And how'd you cook it?
And I grilled it first. I actually quartered it up. Separated the saddle and the hindquarters and the front shoulder, and put some of that really good Malcom Reed, dry rub on there, and grilled it real good. Got a char on the outside of it, and then I put it in a Dutch oven pot, and then I put it was a combination of vegetable broth, white wine vinegar, and I quartered up whole onion, and then I put about 8 whole pods of garlic in there, and some parsley and a beer, and put the top on it, put it on that short rib drum smoker, and just let it go until it was fork tender. And then I shredded all the meat off the bone and put it back in that broth, and then had some wild rice and put that broth and that rabbit over that wild rice. And it was really good.
It was kind of like a stew, casserole type. Man, it was good. It was good.
And afterwards, I actually, I had the wild rice and all that pulled in the pot, and it had it separated. Well, and this may be another recipe for another time. I've already kind of thought this out, but I put all the wild rice back in the pot, and then I put some heavy cream in there, and it almost made it, like a cream of rabbit stew.
Cream of rabbit.
Yeah. And man,
it was good.
It
was good. Every bit of it got ate.
Yeah.
It really did.
And then of course that wild boar belly tacos was.
Yeah, I didn't get those.
Yeah. So what'd you do with the wild boar belly?
That's what I did for the tacos is I cut it up into strips, and I think I put some of that really good Killer Hall. I think I put the hot on there, and then got a good char on those, and then cubed them up, and I battered them and fried them, and then I made a slaw. It was a peanut butter. I'm trying to remember.
Peanut butter slaw, really?
Yeah, it wasn't the main ingredient in there. Yeah. It had rice wine vinegar, sauce. And it had what spice am I looking for here with Chinese ginger?
Yeah, so it was like
ginger in there. Yeah,
it was like a peanut Thai sauce.
Yeah, I love a peanut
done
Thai
with the
sauce.
Slaw. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and had that.
I did try the slaws. We had people that had peanut allergies, and so there was some slaw left. They wouldn't eat it. I was like, man, this is some good killer slaw.
Gotta ask that to everybody. Yeah. Hey, you out there? Always check for peanut allergies. Allergies. But yeah, and then made that taco with it, and gosh, it was really, really good.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I tell you, the quality of everything that we got to use from there was very impressive.
The gamekeeper meats are really good.
Yeah,
they sent us. I know they sent you some too. It was like a sampler pack of stuff to try. That's how I got that bacon in the thing. With some of their sausages, the case sausage they sent were phenomenal. Man.
And they got more on there now than they did when I did that first order.
That's where we got the alligator too. When Craig come to the alligator, it came from them too.
Yeah. Yeah,
I hadn't looked at their website in a while. They've added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they've added some sausages, and of course they've got everything is ground also, and then they've got a couple of whole cuts. I can't remember. We'd have to look at
the elk medallions. Did you get to try those when I did those? And those were really good too.
They really were.
I did kind of the old school bacon wrap, marinated them in balsamic Worcestershire soy kind of sauce and bacon wrapped them, and then grilled them over some charcoal and moved them over and let them kind of come up, and then flipped the grill grate over and then put the bacon back on there so it would kind of crisp it up. Those were really good.
And
it's a good appetizer.
You know, it was kind of wild because I was talking to Vanny, and it was shortly after and it's even since we did the alligator video, he said, man, if you would have asked me that the number one seller that we had would have been whole alligator, he said they can't keep those whole alligators.
I just pulled it up to see because I was curious. That video that y'all did together has got almost 800,000 views.
Wow.
It'll
It ain't been a year, has it?
It'll be a 1 million view video.
About a year, yeah.
That's all.
That's
A million
crazy,
people
man.
will watch
Yeah,
YouTube.
we rocked that out.
Watch you two rednecks cook a gator.
We got to come up with something else crazy to cook.
Well, we can.
What can you trap down there in Cleveland?
You want to know? You got time for me to list out everything?
We need to make a menu. What Craig can go get. Craig, go get.
We were.
Nutria.
I was
Yeah,
actually
get some
going to
Nutri-Rats.
hunting club one Friday, and we were doing a conference call, and all the guys on there, and you know, we got sales guys all over the United States, and one of the sales guys was like, "What are you cooking? You know, tonight at the hunting camp, Craig?" I said, "Whatever I hit on the way." They were like, "Oh my god!"
So Chevy special. Huh?
I tell you that and it's www.gamekeepermeats.com is where you can get these products. And man, when I told what I wanted, they put in the order the next day, and it was at my door.
It ships quick. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that fast, and it's impressive for sure.
And really, it's been a little sketchy to get wild game before, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Matt was probably like me. You know, I cook wild game, but you've got people that are there maybe in a class or something, and they're like, well, I don't duck hunt. Or
Yeah.
I don't deer hunt, you know, so I can't.
But I
you
want
know,
to try it.
But I want to do this recipe, but I don't deer hunt. Or, here you go, you know, and it's good to have that to send them to they can get it delivered to their door.
And you know it's going to be good. You know it's going to be fresh. You know it's going to be
Processed right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. The only thing that was uncertain about going to Mossy Oak was the equipment we was going to be cooking on. I'm glad you brought that drum because we didn't know what they had. I don't think they knew what we needed.
I know they did.
So I was like, yeah, we got grills.
What was it?
Yeah. Well,
They had a Camp Chef pellet grill,
they did.
and it worked. I mean, it wasn't,
Was
you
it
know.
an old?
It was just, I think it was base model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the thing we probably used the most was the little 2-burner camp. Was that a Camp Chef too? The propane burner with the top, and then you threw down on the flat top.
Right.
And then the other grill that we cooked on was just, I don't even know what grill that might have been a Brinkman when it was new.
Yeah.
It looked like it had been added on and patched and didn't have mismatched grates.
I don't think the lever. I think.
Oh, there was none of that. Yeah, it was like put a rock in there. Yeah, we can prop that up with a rock or something. We made it work. We're gonna get them fixed up.
We're
with some
gonna
good
have them
equipment.
outfitted, no doubt.
Yeah. They need some good equipment. And that's one thing I told them. You know, I was like, look, man, we're gonna do this more regular. We got to get some stuff in there that we can throw down on.
Yeah, and they're all about it and all for it. And you know, between folks you know and folks I know,
We can make
Match
that
it
happen.
up.
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
No, it was their old. So the camp we stayed at was this old 1800s built house that I guess it had been. I don't know if it had been on their family property or they moved it to their family property in West Point. But it was, if you've ever seen those old houses where they got the one main breezeway down the middle, and then you've always got
Shotgun
one.
or something.
I don't know if you call them shotgun. It's like frontier homes, cabins.
Yeah.
And then one side is one big room. It's got a big fireplace, and the other side's the other big room, has a big fireplace. Then it had a small kitchen and an upstairs loft that was pretty much open. They built some walls, but they've added on to it and added another kitchen and added a big back porch and added bathrooms and all that. So, but it still had that 1800s feel to it.
It did. It was cool.
It was really
Of
cool.
course, just like those old houses too. The kitchen was like
Yeah,
so
yeah.
little, man.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, we had a table in there, you know, and somebody was sitting at the table, you couldn't get in the refrigerator.
Where'd you keep the beer?
Yeah. Oh, it's taking coolers on the porch, on the
Yeah.
screened-in porch.
And you know, it wasn't. It was so cool because obviously it wasn't insulated, you know, and because they were downstairs talking. And I was in my bed upstairs, and I was like, "Is somebody under my bed?" You know, it was like they were right there. You know,
Yeah. But the fireplaces in those old houses, we kept fire going the whole time. It heats the whole thing up.
Yeah.
So it has that, lodge or old cabin type feel to it, smell to it.
And I tell you,
That was cool. That was
we
real
had
cool.
a country music singer there. We definitely
really?
yeah two and Cole Chaney was one of them. I'm gonna tell you folks, if you haven't looked up Cole Chaney or heard him,
He just released his first album too.
need
Oh,
to
really?
hear him.
Yeah, he's from Kentucky. He's a cool guy. He's a young guy, man. I think he was 21, 22.
We sat in the living room and Malcolm sang and
He
sang.
he was drinking then.
and sang.
He was
Well,
drinking
we got on that
whiskey
brown
then.
water. It wasn't the Miller Lite that got that out of me. But I couldn't hold back. I was like, this guy's going to sing and pick his guitar. I wish I'd had my guitar.
I wish I knew the words because I'd have sang too. I mean, it was like all of us in this, big old fire crackling in the room together and hanging. It was a great experience.
They
It really was.
put on a full blown concert.
Yeah.
They did 2 recordings. Like he played 5 or 6 songs, and so Mossy Oak has this is the Mossy Oak Go app, and that's kind of what they're doing. Everything. It's a free app, and they're doing. You can find the videos, the cooking. They got a cooking segment side of it where some of our stuff's on there, and they got other guys that come in and cook. Then they're doing, what are they calling the sticks and strings?
Yeah.
So they take these country music guys out, or I don't know if they're all country music, but I think they were. But they take them out and let them hunt, and they come in at the cabin at night. They take one of the corners in the cabin, clear out all the furniture. It's kind of like a little stage. They bring the lights and all their Mossy Oak cameras and all that stuff, and they put on a one-man concert right there while we're all sitting around here drinking beer and drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
You weren't
So that
saying
was
during
cool.
his concert, were
No, I held back on that. I wouldn't own the whiskey that night.
Yeah, well, he was doing some of his originals too. He wasn't reaching back into the Wayland Gin.
Now, if he'd have got back to the ones I known, it'd have been hard. 'Cause, I've been tapping. Just been itching. Can't stand it. You can't sing them songs and me not get in there. Not when I know them.
No, he could not hold back.
I spent many a miles riding my daddy's pickup truck listening to that old music. I know them songs.
And the hunts, that was awesome. That was a great
yeah.
experience. I mean, I got to kill a great buck there, 10-point buck. And, of course, they've produced that video since then. It's on the Go app also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're on a Mossy Oak video? That's so cool.
It really
Is it on there already?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you didn't send me a link to that. I got to check that. Is the hunt on there? The deer and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm watching that since we get through.
Wait just a second. I'll get to you here in just a second. We get done.
I need to share that. We did share that video, Tyler.
Yeah.
Put it on something. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ninjas kill video. Does it show the kill and everything?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it does, and it shows. That whole experience was really cool with being in there. Of course, the first, I don't want to give it away, but of course, having 3 folks in the blind was pretty tough too.
Yeah, because Matt tagged along.
Yeah, of course,
He didn't even take a
Matt.
gun. He just wanted to go hang out, didn't
He
he?
was back there,
Mouthing on. I'm
heckling
surprised you
me.
got to kill one.
He'll want to tell the story about me falling over in the chair when we first got in. But that's all right.
I think he took the screws out.
Somebody
So
did.
he
It's
said-
either him or Van.
Oh,
Dyke.
really?
They were sitting in the deer blind. Cameraman's in there, He's got Matt over here. Yeah. And Craig's being serious, they're trying to be quiet, deer all around him. He goes to lean back. He just keeps on leaning. The whole bottom of the chair is unconnected.
I
so
wanted to show the cameraman a video, so I started like, here you go.
next thing you see, all you see is Craig's 2 feet.
My feet right there.
And Matt's dying.
Oh, Matt just laughed. But that's all right. We were at my hunting camp duck hunting like 2 weekends after that, and he trounces out and in the water, waders on, it's muddy, and he ends up falling.
You get no hole.
Did you get video of that?
I got video of that. I'm actually walking out there to pull him out, and he's like, "Help me, man! Help me, man. Forget you, man!" I'm like, same thing make you laugh, will make you cry, and it did.
Now, we had a big time hunt camp, man. I can't wait to go back.
I know when he came home, he slept for about 12 hours.
I think maybe 13. It was go. I'm gonna tell you the filming day. I mean, that was a 12, 13 hours straight. I was started prepping at 6 a.m. in the morning, and
Sun up, sun down.
I think we got done 6 or 7 at night. I mean, that was
That's
5
tough.
videos. Y'all know it better than
Yeah,
anybody.
5 videos in one day, and we did. I did 5 one day. You did 5 the next day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then the last day. Now, what did we do last day? Just go hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went and hunt.
And I went by the Mossy Oak store, and I'd never been there in West Point. That place is cool.
Yeah. April. I hope we get it
Yeah,
firmed up.
we're probably going back in April.
Yeah.
for
That would
sure.
be really cool.
They want to do 4 more, I think.
Yeah.
Like seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a seasonal.
We do. There's supposed to be one around. Well, it's like one around each season. Like,
Yeah.
so turkey season's coming up. I said, "You guys want to come turkey hunting?" I said, "Well, we'll go." I'll bring some wild turkey. I don't know.
I need you to bring that country guy back.
Yeah, bring that country guy back. I'll bring the whiskey. But yeah,
time.
so that's what, and we're going back in the summer, and we're going back in the fall during deer season. So
Yeah.
hopefully that's going to be a regular thing on
You're gonna get that
the
big
Mossy Oak Go. Big deer, yeah.
You're gonna get that big.
I passed. I kept asking. I was like, "What can we shoot? What can we shoot?" He said, "Well, anything you want that's mature." And I said, "I'm not gonna go out here."
Yeah.
And if I didn't see something
was
that was like, yeah, I
questionable.
mean, Craig killed a big deer. I saw plenty of deer, but I didn't see any that I would shoot.
Yeah.
The glasses are foggy.
I wanted to get invited back.
Yeah,
That's the
what
hazard of
Malcolm
looking so
kept
cool.
saying. I'm gonna get that big one next time I come back.
Yeah, next time I know how to play this thing out.
He was setting
Yeah.
up.
He's
I know
like
how
the
to play
girl
this.
that leaves her keys
Yeah,
in the
I
apartment.
think I left my boots too. Oh, they threatened to burn my boots.
Why?
I showed up with some real tree boots out in Mossy Oak. I went home and bought me a pair of Mossy Oak boots.
Man.
I didn't think nothing about it,
You just grabbed your boots.
He said in the email, "Do you got boots or whatever?" Because I guess they didn't give us some. They gave us all kinds of gear.
Yeah.
We got full jacket,
Oh, yeah.
pants,
Those
glove. I mean,
bibs and
Mossy Oaked us up.
Nice.
And I should have said, "I ain't got any boots." I know now. That was a lesson learned. So I showed up and got all my Mossy Oak stuff on. I got on real tree boots. And he told me, he's like, we got this rule at camp. If you show up and see anything not Mossy Oak, or especially real tree, we take it out there and burn it. Then we'll give you to the store and get you some more. And I was like, well, I ain't got a problem with it. He didn't make it do it, but he said they did burn Hank Parker's out there right off the front porch.
Oh wow.
Made him watch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, I double checked everything before I.
You-
I did.
Next time, I'm just going to show up in some cowboy boots. Yep, I got boots. Let's go.
Let's go.
You ain't got a problem with these Justins, do you?
That seems like a valid rule.
I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want somebody showing up to cook.
In Kingsford, would you?
Yeah.
Any
You
other
got the
thing.
Kingsford
You'd have-
stuff.
I understand.
I do have a question for you. You are a event man. You do a lot of events.
Yeah.
How many events have you seen this year?
Well, it's everybody's trying to plan. Everybody you got to. There's so much logistically involved in these events. You've got to plan. You got to start. I mean, even if you may not have. I was supposed to be in 2 weeks going to Washington State to do
Dang.
it was an outdoor extravaganza, like a hunting thing. I was actually going to partner with Mossy Oak and do some demos and all the way up till last week it was planned. I mean, but it kind of fell apart. But they're still going to have a competition there. They're just not going to do the outdoor cooking demos and stuff. So, but I mean, like the Q events, the Q in the Lou, Denver Q, Kansas City, they're going to do a Kansas City Q. They're planning them. So I mean, everything. And the Chicago Windy City Smokeout, and they're planning. Of course, Memphis in May.
It's planning.
Yeah.
planning.
Everybody I
fingers
talk
crossed.
to keeps saying it's a go. It's
Yeah.
going. Everybody we've talked to in every facet of it. Look,
1 year you got to think 1 year. We can put things to the side, but you don't want things to start being the new norm
yeah.
and it not happen, and then not happen, and then it never happens again. So you don't want that.
We need to come back. You were at a cook. Was it last week?
Yeah,
when were you in Texas?
Yeah. This past weekend, I was in Irving, Texas, at an IBCA event. Now, the smaller events, SCA hadn't
Yeah.
picked up. IBCA now they did cancel their season last year, but they're back.
KCBS is rolling.
Mississippi and Texas just lifted their mask mandate, so they're opening things back up.
Which is great for barbecue events because we're outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and limiting it to the public, and get that out, is kind of how they're approaching it, and so but a lot of these big events that are public dependent, will have
That's
a
the
little
ones that
bit-
are scared. I
Like
think
Memphis
they're
and
more
I,
scared what kind of bad press they could get if something happened is what the pullback is on
Right.
it.
Well, I being an old insurance guy, you
I can see
got
it.
that
Yeah,
liability.
I can see it.
and you're basically putting that on the line. But hey, vaccines and and
Masking up,
Yeah.
sanitizing, washing hands, and
Taking
staying 6 feet away from people.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of got a more of an idea of what we're dealing with, than we did this time last year.
I think that
yeah,
cold
sure.
spell, I think that big freeze helped out us in the South. Because everybody stayed away from each other for almost 7 days.
Yeah.
And now we see the big dip
Yeah.
in cases and everything. We just needed like 3 weeks of freeze back in January, and we'd have knocked it all out, and we'd have been right back to regular.
I didn't see my yard for a week. I
Yeah.
was like,
I didn't either, but I saw a beach.
I don't even want to go there.
I was thinking about you, Craig. I really was when we were laid out there drinking them bread stripes.
I know.
I was wondering what the ninja was up to.
I could tell my phone was blowing up with text
He
messages.
he took a sip of his pina colada and looked at me and said, "What do you think the ninja's up to?"
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, it makes my heart.
Well, what do you think about that IBCA cook? Did you actually cook in it, or did you just go and hang out?
No, I went and kind of met the organizers too. That's something that I do with my job with Royal Oak. We sponsor events, and I'm kind of head of that. So I wanted to meet them, but I've never been to an IBCA. This was my first IBCA event to go to. It was a little more laid back of a cook. They've got like an hour and a half in between turn-ins. They got 3
wow.
turn-ins. They've got
Plenty of beer drinking time.
Yeah, that'll be my
and they
fear.
did.
And they did.
And they did.
Lone
What's your-
Star was flowing.
What's your first turn-in time?
Let me see if I can remember.
Is it like early or?
It wasn't. No, it was like
Probably
maybe
noon.
12,
Was it? Yeah.
1:30, and then 3 or something like that. It was chicken, then rib, then brisket last. And with the IBCA, I would have to. It's heavily weighed a little heavier on brisket. Of course, it's Texas, but I was trying to kind of understand the judging and kind of.
You got to overcook everything because they've got to sample all of it with plastic utensils. Like
Even
they-
ribs?
Yeah,
Yeah.
plastic
ribs, you have to be able to get a bite off a rib. Now, you don't pick up the rib and eat it. You don't pick up the piece of brisket and eat it, or the chicken. You get a bite off with a fork. I don't even think you're allowed to use a knife. Or you just got to get it.
Yeah,
It's got to come off. They
You
take
don't
the
get
skin
your
to the
own
chicken
bone?
aside. No. You don't get your, like we do in KCBS or anything else. It's all out of that plate. Then they take the top 10 and they do that again. So whatever you're turning in's getting judged like minutes later too.
Oh,
So
you don't
can imagine.
re-enter
No.
like Memphis and May style kind of?
No, it just moves on to a top 10 table. And that's
go
my
fast?
understanding. I don't know how fast it goes. Do you know? I mean,
no, I don't. I didn't get to see any of the judging. Or
I think it's one of those events. It used to be, I think, it's one of those where if you don't make top 10, everybody finishes 11th because you don't really know. And that was what a big hang up was on them.
Oh,
yeah.
Because you don't know where you stand if you didn't make top 10, if you need to improve on something or not.
if you were right there.
But
at the bottom,
it's
yeah.
their way of, it's been an old school way of judging barbecue contests for a long time.
It was fun. I mean, it really was. I mean, that laid back atmosphere was really fun, and I can see the attraction to that because it just wasn't a high pressure.
Yeah. They give you plenty of time to overcook stuff.
They do. They do. And just like you said, I mean, your ribs, you don't want any tug to them. I mean, you don't want it to hang on the bone. You want it to fall off the bone.
That brisket, each slice, they're carefully transferred. You ain't picking it up, putting it in the box.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
barely held together. You're laying it with the knife and laying each one in there.
Yeah, I even saw one person like get their foil out and put it on the table, and they did the slicing, and they just kind of slid it over to the foil
And pick the
and then pick the foil up to put it
in the box.
less-
Yeah, because it has full in the box.
Yeah,
Yeah, no garnish. No garnish at all.
I kind of like that.
and they don't judge.
Half chickens too, right?
Half
Half
chicken.
chickens, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't judge appearance.
Oh,
They don't judge
No
appearance.
appearance.
So
That's why they take the chicken skin, throw it to the side, then get a bite of the chicken.
but the chicken skin's the best part.
If it's done right, it is.
yeah, I like a good old char. on it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you were judging the skin and you didn't get it right, and they take that fork and they just drag all the skin off?
Yeah,
in
one
bite?
person gets the
all the skin.
yeah.
I couldn't judge them because when I did it, I just tried to get me the whole leg quarter. There wouldn't be nothing left. They wouldn't want me to judge them.
Reaching there, popping that thigh out.
Yeah.
But,
Getting all
it
that.
was really interesting too last year because I talked to several when the IBCA had to cancel their season. You had a lot of those guys cross over that had never cooked KCBS before. Well, they cooked some KCBS events, and it was an eye opener for them because the 4 turn-ins, and those turn-ins were
Tight.
Yeah.
and then of course the decoration of the box, the appearance, and all that was brought into it with the KCBS side, and they had to
It's a lot more high pressure too at KSBS.
Yeah.
They spun off like a IBCA style contest with that BCA that was started out down in Louisiana. So a lot of those guys were going over and cooking those events, and they're kind of loosely based the same way. I think you get a little bit more of your scores and see where you finish on those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They cook them the same kind of way.
But I think things are moving that way.
Yeah.
I mean, coming on back. So
Did y'all do any SCA events while you were over there? Did you go to any of those?
no, we didn't.
They're still rocking and roll. They're you're going out to the big one in Fort Worth, right?
Oh yeah, that's next weekend, isn't it?
World Championship next
You
week.
had qualified.
I qualified. Yeah,
We
I
could
didn't make it.
with this shop grand opening and everything we got going on. This year wasn't a good year for us. You got to qualify again.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm just sitting here with my lip down. I mean, the last time I was here, I held your golden ticket.
Yeah,
You
that's
did.
right.
I just won
I
it.
just won it.
Yeah, we're not going.
Well, I'll shake hands, kiss back
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And I can't duplicate your beauty there, but I can try.
So it's next weekend, and but you're not cooking. You're just going and hanging out.
Being over the Royal Oak sponsored teams, I think we're good. I haven't counted. I tried to get a list. I didn't, wasn't able to get a list, but I bet you we're going to have probably 15 to 20 teams there, if not more. So we're going to be very well represented there, and I'm just going to go and support the teams and cheer them on and make sure they got everything they need, from us. And I haven't met several of them face to face because, we just got this year's teams and even last year's teams not being able to get out like I wanted to for a long time. I want to meet people face to face and let them know that, we're there to support them.
It's a fun event. It's one of my favorite.
Yeah. Well, when it was there at Billy Bob's, you had all that going on. It was awesome. It was awesome. I don't know what it's like now. Where are they having it this year? Do you know? It's not in the stockyards anymore, is it?
Oh, I think it's at River Ranch. I think the party's at River Ranch.
Oh, that's a cool place.
It
The River
is.
Ranch is a cool place.
I don't know exactly. I know where Uber's going to drop me off.
Yeah.
It's close to where the event is, but I've heard it's a good time. I mean, not to say I'm not going for a good time.
Well, you got to go to Joe T. Garcia's when you go there.
Okay.
Most people do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Find a group that's going. Jump
Go
on
to
board
Joe
with
T.
them.
Garcia's.
Okay. I'll definitely do that.
Watch the margaritas.
They will sneak up on you.
Me and tequila don't get along.
Oh, man.
Redneck and tequila does not mix.
Oh, I get along just fine with tequila.
Last time we were there, he was singing the Spanish version of Hotel California, and he does not speak Spanish.
I stopped the whole restaurant. That place holds 2,000
And
people.
y'all get along fine.
Mariachi band walked around, and it just, I don't know, something come over me. It was.
See, Malcolm, I can't do that. I'll be wearing
I didn't realize I was doing it, Craig, until I looked up. I had my eyes closed. There was a video somewhere of it. Mark Williams. It's part of the Mark Williams. What does he call it? Blackmail collection of stuff he's been around. I got to watch what I do around Mark Williams. These daggum cameras, man. I'm glad they wasn't around when I was young.
No kidding.
But
when you knew Saul.
yeah.
So,
Better not call Saul.
you
Skittles.
I know the story y'all are
You
talking
know that.
about.
That's Jose's favorite story.
But y'all will be at Memphis in May. Royal Oak Strong. We'll be there representing
That's right.
Oh,
if everything goes well.
Flagship. Big ground zero right there. HowtoBBQRight. Killer hogs.
So, how did the team selection? I wanted to talk about that a little bit before we wrap things up today with Royal Oak. I know you're kind of the liaison when it comes to marketing at Royal Oak. You're the man now between barbecue teams, right?
Right.
That's your full-time job.
Yeah. That's my
Not just to be ninja, right?
No, that's
That's only
That's
at
not
night and on
cool.
weekends.
we kind of do that together now,
Yeah.
Royal Oak and the Barbecue Ninja. But I tell you, there's a lot that goes into that. It's not a put your name in a hat and it gets drawn out.
Yeah.
And for me, Malcolm, I come from the cooking side, so I know personally what goes into the work, the cost, the time that people put in to compete and to be good at what they do. So I'm going to give every team ample and even ground and do the research and do the due diligence to get the best teams that we feel like.
Y'all do a
that
good
can
job of
represent
like
us.
not just going for the best, the big names.
Right.
You kind of try to get some
A mix.
young people coming up.
Right.
And
Well, it's important. I mean, it really is. And, you know, in today's times, you know, we've got not only the competition barbecue, but we also want people that are very well thought of and respected in the barbecue community. And also social media is a big part of it. You know, we can't deny that all the way up to our ownership. They're a big believer in social media, and you know, our marketing philosophy with them. I mean, we're grassroots. You know, we want everything that our teams do to have that backyard griller say, I want to buy a roll of charcoal.
That's what it's about, really. I mean,
Right.
that's Royal Oak's American-made charcoal, and it's in just about every home in the United States has a grill, and they want, you know, they're cooking on charcoal. That's
you've tried other brands, and you always go back.
Go back to Royal Oak. Yeah, I've tried them all.
Well, through that process, I mean, you know, there's the application. You know, we get the application, and then every team is evaluated on, and we've got programs that evaluate their competition, you know, history. And of course, last year was tough. We didn't have that, but all of our 2020 teams that reapplied, we accepted them in 2021 just because we didn't feel like there was a
fair year.
There was a fair year. You couldn't evaluate because there's some people actually cooked like 20 KCBS events last year. You know, right at the end of the year, they were doing doubles and just
Everything
rolling.
they could, yeah.
But then there was more NBN teams or IBCA teams that had their whole season canceled and didn't cook at all.
Yeah.
So there was no way to properly evaluate those teams last year. So, and even the new teams that applied, we went back to 2019, 2018, even 2017 to look at their competition, you know, schedule and history and things like that. And, you know, and I personally did a lot of that. I never knew until I started doing this. There were so many organizations.
Yeah, I know.
And, you know, and all of them report things differently. We use barbecue data. We went, you know, to every avenue to try to get as much and accurate data as we could. And then also the social media side. We contracted with a company called Meltwater to, you can actually, with that, you can look at all these kind of different analytics, and you put in teams' names, and it actually gives a social media grade based on, you know, followers, based on activity, based on, you know, their just overall performance with their social media. And that was weighed. And then, of course, you know, I got a pretty good web of people out there and all over the United States. And so if there's a team or something that we had a question about or wanted more information about it, I would reach out to somebody to get a reference, or, you know, and I'd list out teams, one to however many, and say, can you rank these? And, or if you know them, are they good with the community? And it was a lot that went into it. And
You're not just drawing names out of the hat.
oh,
Yeah.
no, nothing like that. I
Or
promise.
playing favorites.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we make recommendations to the committee, and then the committee makes the final decisions on the teams that we're going to choose. So I don't want that to fall, you know, on me. Definitely, you know, I want people coming at me, you know, saying,
Running you off the road.
Yeah.
like, no,
They put a hit
you
out
know,
on you.
We make these recommendations, and then they look at all of this data that we've gotten together, and then make those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's, you know, when we roll out the teams that are chosen,
So-
that are going to represent us.
What would you say to new teams, or maybe the teams that have put in and didn't get in? To what should those guys be trying to do so they could become in the future a Royal
We've
Oak
been
team?
there.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there where
yeah.
we didn't qualify. We put in before. It took a while. It took
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah. Well, you know, for the teams that didn't get chosen in 2021, because we invited all our 2020 teams back, we didn't have a bunch of slots to fill, so to speak. And plus, you know, we have to be conscious of, because we sell charcoal all over the United States, we want representation all over the United States. So we also kind of have to look at a calendar and say, okay, you know, we might want somebody in Utah, or so that kind of filled in some slots. So, but overall, it's kind of the criteria I talked is the competition part. You know, if a team goes out and they cook, you know, 4 competitions in a year, you know, that's we need
And don't do
more
any
than
social
that.
media.
Right.
And don't do any social media.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, why didn't we get picked? And okay. I mean,
Yeah, it's not free charcoal.
Right.
This
Yeah.
ain't just
really
hand
wanna
out,
go
you know.
there. But yeah, and you said social media, and that's where we are.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's our times, and y'all know better than anybody. That's the power right now of marketing and having, you know, boots on the ground, so to speak, grassroots part of it. And that's where Royal Oak invests more of their marketing dollars, is in this particular sponsored team program for that very reason. They want to get these recipes. They want to get this representation from your peers. You know, for the people that's cooking in the backyard, they want, hey, you know, he does do competitions, but he's also my neighbor, you know, instead of seeing, you know, some celebrity on TV that's, you know, it's not real. Well, I mean, it may be real, but it's not.
No, I get that totally. That's, I mean, I think the same thing. I'd rather have somebody out cooking and people coming over to their house and asking them what they're using and want to try that themselves than seeing some commercial.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a two-way street with any part. It's not, you know, just a sponsorship. It's a partnership.
Yeah, that's the way
you got to. And it's not just somebody giving you free charcoal.
Bingo.
You know.
Bingo. And that's the big philosophy that I have with Royal Oak is when we sponsor a team, we want to do just as much for you as a sponsor team as you do for us. It's a partnership. If you've got a product, you know, show it off. If you send us something, a video or a picture, have that in there. So when we put it out on our social media, it can help you just as much as it helps us. I mean, it is a partnership. It is a true partnership, and that's what I want to stress to our teams. And we've got, you know, charcoal rolling out right now. I'm getting videos and pictures and people putting it on social media. It's exciting times because I think yesterday our gear orders started going out, so everybody's fixing to start, you know, getting their gear orders. So now it's going to be a time where we're going to make, you know, some ask for social media content because we're building our recipe, you know, vault, and we put a couple of hundred on there, you know, building our YouTube up, and, you know.
Yeah, and Royal Oak's done a great job. They got a great Instagram channel. They got a great Facebook, you know, channel going. I mean, it's the videos are coming on. You're doing videos. We've done, you know, some together, and you're going out and doing those with the teams too. I guess that's what took you to Texas to do videos, right?
Doing in Texas, our digital marketing manager, Christy Lee, she's doing a wonderful job managing this. And you know, last year we both were new, so it was a big learning process and kind of our.
Ooh, that's a tough year to learn in.
Very tough year to learn in, you know. But we, you know, now streamlining things and building spreadsheets to be able to keep up with things better. And we got more editors kind of on board. But I was in Texas, and that's what, you know, we did. I did 5.
What'd you do? What'd you shoot?
Yeah, we shot some recipes. Had Justin West, Jody Harris, Dark Mullins, Roland Escobedo, Chris Hatcher come on site, and they all did different recipes. You know, just a few. Jody she actually did a grilled banana pudding.
Ooh. How did she? Okay, tell me how she did this, because I make a mean banana pudding, but
this banana pudding, it's and of course you're gonna have the recipe's gonna come out.
Okay.
But it's got a key lime influence to it, and it had a grilled banana. It had that char banana.
So she actually grilled the bananas.
Grilled the bananas.
Did she grill them whole, or did she cut them lengthwise? She just grilled them whole.
They cut them up or mashed them up, or how'd you incorporate that into the pudding?
She cut.
We got to watch the video. When's that one dropping, Craig?
I'm very curious about this because I've heard
recreate that.
I've never heard of grilled bananas. I've heard of grilled pineapple, grilled watermelon.
I've never thought of a grilled banana pudding, but it sounds good.
Yeah,
and
that's
you put that
idea.
little bit of smoke in there, a little bit of char, and she does this key lime in there too, and. Yeah,
I like the bananas Foster where they put them in the iron skillet and they, you know, deglaze it with the brandy and all that stuff. That's awesome.
You do get a flame kissy flavor there.
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Caramelized banana. You know, 51 has a caramelized banana ice cream.
It ain't no grill.
Get off the bananas, man.
And then what else did you do?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Dinner time, Craig. It's dinner
time. Malcolm. Chris Hatcher did like these Cajun pig bombs, I think is what he called it. And he got like some sausage, link sausage, cut them in the disc. And
wrapped in bacon.
Wrapped a little bacon around them, but he left like a
cup. Yep.
And
pig shots.
Yeah. But he did like a boudin, cream cheese, jalapeno, stuffing over the top. And then he put it on the barrel grill until the bacon just got a little bit crisp. And then he got some of the Cosmo Q jalapeno mango glaze or something.
The rib glaze. That sounds good.
Yeah, that was really, really
I was doing it up.
The more you talked about that.
Did you cook
farther.
one too, or did you just help out?
I actually cooked a whole hog for them.
Oh wow!
And
wow.
you know,
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
those Texas guys were like,
They'd blown away, wouldn't they?
Yeah, we want you. And when I got there, they were like, well, what do you want? I was like, man, I want some beef ribs. And they were like, what do you mean you can't get beef ribs? I was like, no, you can't get beef ribs back where I am. Not the, you know,
those back
2-inch
ribs. They got no meat on them.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
a little
But
bit
they
of
cook them so good out there.
And I can't even really describe what Dirk Mullins did. He made this parfait.
Like a barbecue parfait?
Like it was like a moonshine jar part, but it didn't have moonshine in it.
Yeah.
But it was layered with about 10 different things. And,
savory or like dessert. We're talking.
no, it was savory. It had like beans,
Oh, okay.
macaroni and cheese, and pulled
yeah.
pork.
It was the whole buffet.
Yeah, it was like whatever was left over from the competition. They all brought in because they had a bean competition. There was beans left, and Jody also did a brisket mac and cheese.
Oh, that's
So he took some of the brisket mac and cheese. Everybody in the
That was a layer.
yeah, it was a layer.
Had a banana pudding
So
layer.
Yeah.
You got a jar about this tall,
Yeah,
about this
yeah,
big
yeah.
around, and it was layered.
I like the barbecue parfaits. We've done it with beans, pulled pork, and coleslaw.
Yeah,
Kinda make
17th
it.
Street
Yeah,
does
yeah,
something
yeah.
similar.
And Justin and his wife Kayla did a this cheesy potato dish where they cooked the potato. Well, they put the potatoes in the foil and they cooked them till they were about fork soft, and then they cut them into disc and then grilled them, and then put them in a Dutch oven with cheese and heavy cream, and butter. And
I was
all
eating
that.
too good out in
Good stuff.
Texas.
I mean, look at me, man.
Hey,
He don't travel around to eat bad
Yeah,
food.
yeah, I knew that for a fact.
I'm learning a lot through my travels. I can tell you that.
What's the best thing that you ate while you're in Texas? It didn't have to be what.
It don't have to be barbecue.
Yeah, it didn't have to be barbecue.
Man, that's a great question.
How many days were you there? Was it a short trip or?
No, well, we left out. Buddy Matt Miller and I went, and we left out on Wednesday afternoon. Drove all the way to Waxahachie, Texas.
Oh, yeah,
and
we
met
made
up
that
with-
trip.
Yeah, met up with Matt Pittman on Friday morning, and and then came back on Monday. So pretty quick trip, but we packed a lot in that pretty quick trip.
Stop at Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you?
we went by there. We didn't stop.
What? How can you pass a Buc-ee's,
I mean, I
man?
know
It
it's
adds
just
an
like-
hour on your trip. minimum.
I know. That was the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it was getting there and getting back.
Yeah.
But I passed them several times. I've been called crazy.
They sell charcoal in Buc-ee's, but it's not your brand. You need to get on them.
Probably why I hadn't stopped then. I'm glad I did. Forget Buc-ee's. No. Anyway, I'm trying to think the best thing I ate so many good things. Probably may say that wild boar belly burn ends.
Really?
Yeah,
Dang.
they were really, really good.
Did they make them real sweet?
They did, yeah. I had to talk to Texas guys into making something.
I was gonna
sweet,
say.
Yeah. I was like, no, you gotta put this sweet sauce in there. You gotta make it. And their rib glaze, Justin's rib glaze, Justin West, his rib glaze was sweet, so that's what we put in there. But those guys are great. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. I'm loving what I'm doing, but just meeting all these great people. That's what it's.
That's cool. Where's your next trip?
Hopefully Mossy Oak.
Okay, cool.
Next trip, and then going to the SCA Worlds.
Oh yeah, that's next week.
Be
You're
then,
going
yeah.
Texas. You're going back to Texas.
Going back to Texas.
Yeah. You making that drive? It's not a
No,
bad
I'm
drive.
gonna fly in this time.
Okay.
It's going to be a little quicker trip. So, and hopefully in April when we kind of get that Mossy Oak trip set, I want to make another trip over to Cosmo Q and do some content with Cosmo. And we've got several co-sponsor teams that Cosmo Q sponsors and Royal Oak sponsors. So we're going to do some footage
Good.
with them. So yeah, and then you get into May and Memphis in May and actually Hogs for the Cause.
Is it going down?
It's not going down, but they were pushing it. Actually, try to do it in May, like the Houston Livestock and Rodeo. We're trying to push stuff back to the end, and it's just not going to be able to do it. But I always want to mention Hogs for the
Yeah.
Cause. That's
Oh, we love that
something-
contest.
Something
Yeah.
near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, it's normally almost this time of year,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah,
It's
like
spring, yeah.
spring.
It's
Around your birthday, end of March.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
in March. That's usually when it is. I just like to give those guys a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great.
fun-
Yeah, it's a great
fun
event. Great cause.
And that's one of those few that it's not a sanctioned contest, but It is
big deal.
It is a big deal. It's a tough
They
contest.
take
right.
it serious.
But folks can walk around there and buy from the tent.
Try some good food.
Yeah, try some great food.
They got
good
some
music.
good bands, yeah.
And New Orleans.
Yeah.
I wish they had more events in New
I
Orleans.
know. Any excuse to go to
Yeah, any excuse to go down there.
Well, y'all are gonna have to come and do an event with us.
Yeah, I want to. I want to go do one of the Q events and they get cranked back up because I've never done the festival stuff or been a part of it. You know, I want to come at least check one out.
Yeah,
That's-
we've only been a part of it from the contest,
yeah.
From a team
We
point
may
of
have
view.
to get you to come and maybe just do a class or something.
We can do something,
do
man.
a little demo or something like
I can
that.
Pull
for
something out of the hat.
You think you do one for Roll-Up? Please.
Pretty sure I can.
In Georgia. Where are we doing it at?
Oh, what about before we quit, Craig?
Okay.
Is the Invitational going on this year?
The Invitational is going on.
I got a set date.
Yes, it is the third weekend in October.
We need to put that.
Third
What did we
weekend.
book in October? There was something we were.
The Jack
have a
is
friend's
the second
wedding.
weekend in October. October's going to be a busy month.
Yeah, it is.
The
But it
first
always
weekend,
is.
yeah, the first
gotta
weekend in
book that.
October is going to be Q in the Lou. So things are kind of rolling into
Royal Oak
weekend happening.
Invitational.
Yeah,
We'll,
And-
You got to be a Royal Oak team to get invited, right? Is that are they open it up past that, or is it just
no, it is strictly
Royal Oak
for
teams?
our
Okay.
teams, and that's going to be a tough process of choosing those teams also. But there again, it's going to be almost the same criteria as we chose the teams to be sponsored. Our sponsored teams are going to be, it's going to be performance and competition. It's going to be social media involvement, and and all that is going to be taken to choose those.
deal.
Of course, you're in.
I mean,
we'll move.
not. I'll come help him see it or something.
Yeah, we'll just come hang out. I like that plan even better.
Yeah, or do a demo there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the employees, because that's the big thing about that is
They
it's
do
for-
that for the employees.
Yeah, it's for the employees. It's special for our teams, and nobody else is doing anything like that. I'm gonna tell you, I was there I was there just as an ambassador last year to see, and plus I kind of was talking to them about this job, and I know I'm gonna have to do it this year, put it on. So, but you talking about a company that rolled out the red carpet for their teams? Oh my gosh! I mean, it was no expense spared.
Oh yeah.
All the way from
Hotel rooms, meals. There's all over.
every competition meet was purchased and had for
Oh,
them.
that's awesome.
You just had to show up.
There
Yeah.
was some kegs out there in the parking lot.
What?
Yeah, and then breakfast was provided. They brought in the Waffle House truck and had it on premises.
I didn't know Waffle House had a truck.
So lunches were provided. They had a potluck dinner on Friday night where all the teams, employees came together, and the teams actually cooked a side dish, and we got a bunch of steaks from Snake River Farms and cooked those different ways, and had a potluck where everybody hung out together, and it's a real special time.
I forgot why we didn't go.
We were at a contest.
Yeah, it was a contest.
Well,
I
it
think
was
it
like
was the-
World Foods or something
Yeah,
like that.
it was
wasn't
World
just
Foods.
like
It was World Foods.
Because y'all couldn't come. I think Mike and Christina couldn't come, and there was
Yeah, it
several
was World
folks that-
Foods. That's
yeah,
what it was.
yeah,
And
it was
it
something
was.
that wasn't just
Yep.
couldn't
Yeah.
get away from. Yeah, committed to. So, but y'all will be there this year.
That's right.
mark it down. That sounds like a fun time.
It's gonna be.
Well, Shell, you got any other questions or things we need to cover today?
That's it. If y'all are around, come check out the Ninja on Saturday. I'm gonna bring the weed burner and just have it sitting up here.
He's probably got one. He's got one. Have weed
in
burner.
my truck. I travel with one of those.
Have weed burner will travel. That's right.
Exactly.
Well, Craig, man, I appreciate you coming by and sitting in with us today. We're looking forward to the grand opening, everything we're gonna get to do this year. So, man,
Well,
Appreciate it.
I'm excited about it, and I'm a phone call away, and
you're always welcome in
I'm
Hernando.
an hour and 45 minutes door to door, and I can get here whenever you need me.
All right, brother.
If you'd like to connect with Craig, it's the BBQ Ninja on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Right.
Check his
YouTube?
videos out on Royal Oak.
Royal Oak. Yep.
Yeah, definitely go to Royal Oaks YouTube and check that out, because you might see his pretty face on there a little bit.
And where can they find us, Shell?
If you'd like to connect with Malcom, it's HowtoBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube. And if you'd like to
You
connect
got to
with
teach me the TikTok, man. You got to teach me.
he's having fun with TikTok Tyler.
TikTok, Tyler. All right. Well, Tyler, you need to make a TikTok.
You need to do the no
barbecue
beard
ninja.
filter with him. I did one with me. Shell won't let me post it, Tyler. I'm about to show it to you. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen the people with the no beard thing trending?
I have seen it.
I'll show
Oh,
it to you.
Craig definitely needs to do
Yeah, you
that.
need
Yeah.
to do it too.
Oh, okay. Huh?
Seen yourself without a beard in a while?
It's an app that'll show you what you look like.
It's
without a
been
beard.
about 10 years.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just show you. Let me just show you. See if I can find it here.
Malcolm without a beard.
If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram.
Oh, I don't even. Oh no! Come on, Malcolm.
Oh, it's
That's
crazy.
wild.
I've had a beard for 12, 15 years.
Yeah, at least.
It's been there. Yeah.
It was before we got married.
Oh, where can I find you? I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh, we already did it.
Okay.
We out.
Hey, Tyler, is that it, man?
We out.
TikTok
All right,
Tyler.
well, appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We gone.